Hello. Good morning. I'm Dr. Jashwant Rathod, and today we will talk about reflections of existentialism in Kafka's Metamorphosis. So let us talk about Kafka and his novel. It is actually novella, uh, Metamorphosis. It was first published in German under that title Die Verwan Lang. As a novella, novella is, as you know, it's a narrative work of fiction that is longer than a short story, but shorter than full-length novel. It is around 60 to 120 pages. It is seminal modern work by Franz Kafka, and Kafka was a chess writer, and he was known for surreal and disturbing narratives. So the novel, or you can say the novella, it invited debate over its protagonist, and his name is Gregor Samsa. And the surprising event happened in his life is his transformation into insect. And the novella reflects how his human condition is tragically portrayed by Kafka. And it has an impact which is very profound in literature. It has inspired numerous interpretations and adaptations in various media. It the novella is also adopted as well as adapted into plays, films, operas, demonstrating how human condition is described, and it shows the lasting relevance or significance of the work, literary work by Kafka. So the novella has three parts, and the writer has used black humor symbols to point out human condition, and he has described it tragic condition of a human being, right, in this literary work. So the central event of the novel is Samsa's transformation into a bug or an insect. So the it has been also the as I have earlier also said that it has been adapted into plays, films, and uh, that shows its relevance. So these are the characters. Gregor Samsa is the protagonist. He is working as a traveling salesman. Great Samsa is Gregor's younger sister who cares him after his transformation. Mr. Samsa is Gregor's father. He is weak and dependent on Gregor's income. Mrs. Samsa is Gregor's mother. She is submissive. She is caring, but she is also fearful, and she is overwhelmed by her son's transformation. She shocks, and she is afraid of this new kind of metamorphosis, or you can say transformation of human body into a body of insect. Then we have chairwoman, or you can say she is a cleaning woman, right, hired by the family. We have also other characters, lodgers, cook, and manager. In some texts, okay, say some translated text, the character of manager is also described as the character of chief clerk. All right, so you can misunderstand that in some texts the character of manager is the character of chief clerk because it is due to the translation of the original. So it is. Let us talk about the plot. The Metamorphosis is a novella, and it describes the unsettling story of Gregor Samsa. He's a traveling salesman and who wakes up one morning and finds himself transformed into a giant insect. And this bizarre transformation serves as a backdrop for exploring themes of alienation, identity, and familial obligation. Now, see, one day, surprisingly, he wakes up, our protagonist, and when he wakes up, he finds himself transformed into a bug or an insect. So there are three parts of this novella, and the first part is about transformation, how this protagonist, Gregor Samsa, is transformed, and how he becomes an insect, and the puzzles, the problems of his transformed body, right? How he manages, right, with this transformed body. Now, in the second part, he realizes and he understands the situation. He learns how to adjust with life, how to adjust with this body, which is transformed into an animal or an insect. So now he understands that he is no more a human being. Now he understands that he is a small, or you can say, a small bug or an insect. And now he cannot walk like a human being. He cannot speak like a human being. He cannot communicate like a human being. He behaves like a human being, but his behavior is or you can say incomprehensible, or it is not deciphered by the relatives, his father, mother, sister. Now he starts accepting the reality. He starts accepting his transformed body, and now he learns, right? He learns about his true identity, about his relationship, uh, right? When her mother is so much afraid of the transformed body, right? His father attacks Gregor, the insect, with apple, and he bombards apples, right? And he understands now that he is no more a human being, and he is seen, observed, and understood as an insect by others, right? And especially he understands the fact that he is understood as as an insect by his family. Now he has lost his human values. Now he has lost his human communication. Very important aspects of life, right? So this is his realization of his body, not only of his body, but also of how he can manage this body, transform body. And he also realizes and understands that now he is difficult to manage his communication with others, right? So this difficulty is understood by him. At last, in the final stage, in the final part, he enlightens himself. This is a stage of emancipation. This is a stage of disillusionment with human relations, right? In Indian terminology or Indian philosophical or value system, we can talk it, or we can identify it as moksha. So he understands the meaninglessness of life. He understands how human relations are futile and fragile. Now he understands that humans are basically selfish. Though his relatives, his father, mother, sister, Earlier, they took care of Gregor, and earlier, Gregor also was very caring, was very sensitive about his family. He is the fellow who works hard. He manages his chief clerk, or you can say manager, and he understands that he is very much needed for the economic upliftment or for the economic stability of his family. Now he realizes that now he is turned into an insect, and that is why he is a useless character, or rather, I say he is a useless creature in this world. So, this realization is very important in the last part of the novella. So, this plot, or you can say the story of the novella, can be understood by using the word true, True. So, when this is a trick, if you understand the word true, T for transformation, R for realization and understanding, U, right? And E for, you can say, enlightenment, emancipation. So the word true, you must understand it. It is an abbreviated form of the plot of the novel. So, dear students, you must memorize this word. You must remember this word whenever you have to write down the summary of, or you have to discuss about the plot of this novella. Now, when he is transformed, let us go to the first part. When he is transformed, right? When he is transformed, he is first of all confused, right? He grapples with his new form. He first of all he thinks that okay, it is a dream. Let me sleep again. Now he struggles to get out of bed, and he's horrified to discover that he is someone who has been transformed into an insect. He's someone who has gained a changed body. Now he is no more human. So this realization, this identification of body is very important. This transformation of the body is very important in this novel. And that is why, what are the, you can say, consequences of this transformed body? You know it, that he misses his train and he can't go now to work. And that is why the chief clerk or the manager comes to his home to complain about his lethargy, his unprofessionalism in his work, right? So, but the first part of the novella also shows his commitment towards the economic development of his family, towards his responsibility as a worker. And he's very much caring about the time. He thinks that, okay, I will go by this train, I will go by 7:30 train, I will manage things, right? So though he is transformed, he realizes his duties. Though he is transformed, he realizes that for the financial stability of his family, he must work. So familial responsibility uh, is very important aspect of his life. Though his transformed body prevents him to stand up, to take bath, and to go for work, he attempts sincerely to do all these activities, right? And this is his intention, to work and to pay off the debts, right? That was taken, or the debts were taken by his family. So after transformed into insect, first of all he tries to communicate with his family. and his family members react with horror, disbelief. And it's surprising, rather it can be called shocking to see some human being transform into an insect, a bug. So they do not believe that his son, Rhaegar, is transformed into an insect. His mother, father, sister, right? They initially express concern for him. Okay, what will happen to his job? When when does he come out? Right? What is happening to him? How basic is his condition? What happens to him? That's a big concern, right? For his father, for his mother, and especially for his sister, right? So this initial care is not the care which can be called innocent, because at last Gregor realizes that he is one who was considered lovable, he was considered relative due to his usefulness. And in the later stage, or you can say in the final stage, in the final part of the novella, he realizes that now he is useless creature. And that is why he must die. So this is the climatic, or you can say climax of the novel. The family keeps borders, and because their economic condition is not so well, and these people, he see they see Gregor as an insect, and they leave the house without paying money. They also threaten the family, and now the sister, great, she tells the family that she announces that now he is not a human being, and that is why he is not a useful person in the family. Now he cannot earn money, and that is why he must be left, or he must leave this house, this home. He is disadvantageous, he is useless, he is harmful for the economy of the family. So the family decides to get rid of Gregor for their own well-being, and the moment marks turning point in Gregor's understanding of his place within the family. Now, this is the turning point in his life. He thought that he takes care of his family and vice versa. His family will take care of him. Now he is no more, you can say, someone who is wanted, who is valued, who is useful fellow in his family. Right? So he tries to think about self-sacrifice, and he tries to, or he thinks to relieve his family from the burden, because he has now become a burden for his family, right? So he's isolated, and in his isolated condition, he dies, right, in his room. So after his death, the family experiences a sense of relief, right? And they quickly move on with their lives. They plan for Great's marriage and her bright future, and they live with their hopes. Now they do not remember Gregor, because Gregor is, you can say, no more here in their family. So this is the conclusion, how human beings treat people, how relationships are there in the world. These relationships are essentially selfish, according to Kafka. So that initial sorrow is converted into, you can say, expectations and hopes for the family and family's development. A very important theme in the novella is existentialism. First of all, we must understand what is it. Existentialism is a philosophical movement that focuses on individual existence, freedom, and choice. It emphasizes that each person has their own unique experiences and perspectives. It encourages people to explore their feelings, thoughts, and identities. Existentialists believe that individuals have the freedom to make their own choices. This freedom can be both empowering and overwhelming. And this freedom comes with responsibility for these choices, right? So, choice is very important in the philosophy, or you can say the theoretical framework of existentialism. These are key philosophers of existentialism. One is Kierkegaard, right? He is called the father of existentialism. He emphasized that individual experience and importance of personal choice in defining one's essence, right? Uh, then he also pointed out how human experience, right, and personal choice are interrelated. He explored concepts like anxiety, faith, and you can say authenticity of life. Then we have Nietzsche, who famously claimed that God is dead. He challenged traditional moral values, and the idea of overman is, you can say, given by him. And he advocated that individuals create their own values, right? So the word has no meaning at all, but the meaning is created by individuals individually, right? So the person creates his own meaning or her own meaning in the world. So world is a meaningless place, but a meaning is created by human being. Another one is Martin Heidegger, right? He focused on being and our relationship with existence. A very famous is Jean-Paul Sartre. He is a central figure, and he argued that existence precedes essence. A very important concept, right? You must dive deep into this concept. You must learn about this concept. What is the meaning of this existence precedes essence? It means that individuals must create their own purpose, right? And his notable works are Being and Nothingness, and Existentialism is a humanism. Now, what are the key factors of existentialism or key aspects of existentialism which are reflected in Kafka's Metamorphosis? So this abbreviated term Amir must be learnt, or you can say must be understood, or must be memorized by you. Dear students, if you memorize this word Amir, then you will understand, or then you can have some information to understand existentialism in this novel. So A stands for absurdity of life. The novel reflects life is absurd, right? Like Samuel Beckett's Waiting for Godot. It also expresses how life is absurd. Life has no meaning. It also talks about, or it also describes ambiguity of life. Life is very complicated. One cannot understand life very fully, right? And that is why ambiguity is there, right? One morning, someone wakes up and he sees his body transformed, right? And when his body is transformed, his relations are also transformed. So life is not so simple, right? And that is why this ambiguity aspect is very important in the novella. So A, the second A stands for ambiguity. Then It reflects the meaninglessness of life. What is life at all? So Gregor works hard. He tries to manage his manager. He tries to manage his clerk. He tries to fulfill the dreams and desires and hopes of his family. He tries to manage the economic condition of his family. He dreams, he aspires, he hopes for his development, particularly, especially the development of his family. But at all, his life becomes meaningless. Right? So this means after transformed body, after getting that transformed body, or after the metamorphosis, if we think about the title, he expresses that how meaningless his life is. So this is human identity, and identity is revealed when see how identity is in flux, how it is transformed, how it is ever changing. Right? Once upon a time, he was a responsible human being of the family. Now he is no more responsible. He is a useless creature. He is a useless fellow in his family. So how the situation, how the economic condition, how physical condition can change the identity of human being, that is shown in the novel. And a very important issue is the issue of relationship. Relationships, are they very selfish? Are they useless? Are they? These are the key questions which are raised by Kafka in the novella. That if we think that human relationships are pure and they are pious and they are good, are they good? Are they not based on selfishness? These are all questions you must debate after reading the novel. Now, the next abbreviated term, or you can say word, is ashya. It shows alienation. He is alienated from the family. He is alienated from the society. After transformation, he is no more in a position to communicate with the family, interact with the family, show the emotions, show his passions, emotions, desires, expectations, hopes to the family. So he is alienated. And after the transformation, he searches for meaning of his life. He adjusts with the life of an insect. He accommodates his new body, but he has to search meaning for his life as a bug, as an insect, and he becomes helpless, right? And the novella reflects his helplessness. It expresses, the writer expresses how he is helpless creature, how he is helpless human being, right? Cornered in the room. He hides behind, or you can say under the sofa, right? He is cornered, he is marginalized, he is imprisoned in his room, right? Identity is also a question we discussed earlier. An absurdity of life. Life is absurd. Life is no more meaningful. Life is useless, right? So these are all issues. You can term it, you can word it as Asia in the novel. So let us elaborate these terms. He is transformed, and this transformation brings realization. Realization of what? Of selfishness of the world. He is isolated, and after isolation, he comprehends, he understands the superficial relationship of the world, of the relatives. So, relationships are not strong and concrete in the novella, right? And he, after transformed, getting this transformed body, or after the metamorphosis, he is physically and emotionally disconnected with the world. So he is not, see, his mother is frightened, his sister is disgusted, his father is angry, right? So he is no more loved by his family. So this ultimately uh, leads his rejection from his family only, and this is his existential crisis, right? And he thinks that, and he realizes at last that life is valueless, life is meaningless, and he is living a useless life, right? Search for meaning is very important theme in the novel, where he see after getting this transformed body, after transformation into a bug, he initially thinks that he is very useful. What will happen to his family? It is a most important issue. He thinks, right? He tries to manage the chief clerk, or you can say the manager, with a purpose that he will come, don't worry, he will manage the work, he will adjust with the environment. And these struggle or these conflict, or you can say these attempts, shows that he wants to prove his usefulness, right? But after all, he realizes that all relations are futile. His sacrifice is not appreciated, and he understands the purposelessness of life, and he's depressed now. It is resulted into his depression, his isolation, his marginalization. He is in despair, he is isolated, he is alienated, and at last he accepts. He's happy to die. He is no more unhappy to leave his family. He is very happy. It may be his moksha. So, the novella shows how a human being is helpless in this world, and it shows internal conflict of Gregor Samsa, futility of his life. Now, he is a bug and he is incapable of doing work. And when he is incapable of doing work, he is helpless and he is useless. He is thought as someone who is not an asset for the family, but he is just a liability, a responsibility for his family, right? Absurdity of life, absurdity of meaning, absurdity of, you can say, this word is key issue, right, or key existential issue that is expressed in this novel. Is transformed into a bug, and after transformation, he realizes that his existence is not rational, it is irrational. No one can understand him, no communication at all, and his communication is blur. He's blurting out something. His voice sounds like a horrible twittering squeak. So his communication, his interaction is now no more powerful. He cannot communicate. He cannot interact, and his meaningless interaction, or his meaningless communication, uh, you can say, provides ambiguity. It is difficult to communicate with him, and that is why he is seen, or he is understood as non-human, an insect, right? And he becomes liability, and his life lacks purpose, right? So once upon a time, he thought that what will happen to him, what will happen to his family, all right? But now he realizes that his family does not care about him, right? The novel also discusses absurdity in human relations, right? Love versus duty is a key issue here. So, the concept of love, or the idea of love, is challenged here by Kafka, right? When he's dutiful, when he's performing his duty, when he's earning, then he's loved by his family, right? He is scared when he's human being, when he's productive. Now he's transformed into an insect, and that is why he is not taken care of. His sister is caring, but later on she also rejects. His mother is frightened. His father is angry. Right? So money is important. Respect comes when you have money. So he becomes liability. He is no more an asset now. And when he is no more an asset, he is useless. And when he is useless, he must go out, or he must die. This is the feeling, this is the passion, or this is the emotional response of the family. Thank you so much. Kindly share and subscribe my videos, right? So that I can be inspired. I can get some inspiration from you too. Thank you.